Hello, my name is Am, and welcome back to my channel. Alright, so it's Doctor Who Day. Last episode ended on a cliffhanger, as they usually do, right? Some of these episodes. And there is a new, the final stage in the Dalek evolution, apparently, the Dalek human, the Dalek in a suit. So, really quite interesting to see how this new Dalek human behaves, or if, or what kind of changes came along after this hybrid process, right? So he's going to have some thoughts of a human, right? Or the capacity of a human mixed in with the disposition of a Dalek. So that'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. But before I go any further, if you're interested in full length for this episode, or even early access to the next episode right after this, consider checking out the Patreon page. And in doing so, you'll be supporting the channel. Consider subscribing to the channel. Everything is based on a schedule at this point in time. And yeah, there's a specific day for Doctor Who. So it's full steam ahead. At no point in time did I think of giving up on this show. It's one of those shows I've been wanting to check out for so long, and I'm going to go right till the end. And I hope you join me on the journey. And also consider checking out the pinned comment. It has all the links to my social media and the Patreon page itself. And any updates usually go in the pinned comment, and the pinned comment is right at the top of the comment section. Right, that's about it. Let's get into the episode.
Well, now, that would be me. Hello, surprise, boo, etc.
Doctor. The enemy of the Daleks. Exterminate! Wait!
Time was, 4 Daleks could have conquered the world. But instead, you're skulking away, hidden in the dark, experimenting.
Fear. Humanity. Good.
That's good.
Ambition. Hatred. Aggression. And war. Such a genius for war.
No, that's not what humanity means.
I think it does. At heart, this species is so very Dalek.
Alright, so what have you achieved?
What is your opinion of Dalek, Sec? We were created to follow him, but you have doubts.
He's having a quick look around.
Affirmative.
What if they take out Dalek Sec?
Oh, Martha, they're just the foot soldiers.
Flying Daleks?
Oh my god.
I'm told that I'm addressing the Daleks, is that right? Observe humanity for all their faults. They have such courage. From what I hear, ain't we the same? Underneath, and we all kin?
Oh.
If you have any compassion in your hearts, then you
They don't.
meet with us and stop this fight.
The hybrid might, because he's half human, but...
Exterminate!
Oh! Yeah, those Daleks are not gonna like Dalek Sec.
Do it! Just do it! Do it!
Damn.
Stop! I come in. Stop.
Oh, and can I just say, thank you very much.
Just in case. He gave her something though.
The deaths were wrong.
I'm sorry?
That man, their leader, Sullivan, he showed courage.
And that's good?
That's excellent. What is the greatest resource of this planet? It's people.
Whoa.
You've got empty human beings ready to be converted. That's gonna take a hell of a lot of power. This planet hasn't even split the atom yet. How are you gonna do it?
Up top.
The conductor plan.
I still don't know what you need me for.
Your genius. Consider
Removing the emotions makes you stronger. That's what your creator thought.
He was wrong.
He was what?
It makes us lesser than our enemies. We must return to the flesh.
Yeah, they don't like this.
So,
You wouldn't be the supreme beings anymore.
and that is good.
That is incorrect. Daleks are supreme.
No, not anymore.
But that is our purpose.
Then our purpose is wrong. Just 4 of us left.
3 according to
Not
them.
change now. Then we deserve extinction.
So you
Ooh.
want to change everything that makes a Dalek a Dalek?
If you can help me.
Wow.
Hold on a minute. There's no way this lot are going to let you do it.
I am their leader.
Oh, and that's enough for you, is it?
Daleks must follow orders. Dalek sick commands, we obey.
They'll disobey at some point.
You have your TARDIS. Take us across the stars. Find us a new home.
Oh, this is interesting.
Allow the new Daleks to start again.
This is strange, man.
Do you trust him?
I know that one man can change the course of history. Right idea in the right place at the right time, that's all it takes.
Of course. Him being a doctor.
Actually, I'm a doctor. Well, kind of.
You're a physician? Really?
Right, different times.
You could be doctors together. What a partnership. If only he wasn't so different. You know what I mean?
Oh, you have no idea how different he really is.
Yeah, he's a man, sweetheart. That's different enough.
Oh,
Start the line feeds.
something's gonna go. Something's gonna happen here.
Solution.
The light blood.
They're overriding the gene feed!
Impossible. They cannot disobey orders.
The doctor will step away from
Yeah, it was bound to happen.
You have betrayed me.
You told us to imagine, and we imagined your irrelevance.
I
Ooh.
was your leader.
We've worked it out, we know what they've done. There's Dalekanium on the mast, and it's good to see you too, by the way.
Oh, come here.
I feel like he might not get to the last one in time. Oh. That's a nice little collectible for someone. Oh, he's gonna take it. Now the doctor taking that, is that gonna change something?
Assume battle positions. Take arms.
Oh, Tommy guns. they're like hybrids.
Doctor!
That's a great shot.
Halfway down!
That gamma strike went zapping through me first.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
We need to
Right.
fire before they attack New York. I need to face them.
Is there another lift? We came up with the service elevator.
That'll do. And Halsey?
Alonzi.
Listen, Doctor. I know you got a thing for show tunes, but there's a time and a place. Huh? Closer?
Frank can take you back to Hooverville.
And I'm telling you, I'm not going.
Master,
Oh.
that's an order.
Who are you then? Some sort of Dalek?
It's the same music from.
Planet Earth will become new Skaro.
Oh,
Damn.
what a world. With anything just the slightest bit different ground into the dirt.
That's Dalek sick. Don't you remember?
No. I beg you, don't.
Exterminate.
Oh wow. Isn't that something?
Your own leader.
Dalek humans, take aim.
They're not gonna shoot.
Give the command.
Exterminate. Obey. Daleks do not question orders.
But why?
You will stop this!
But why?
I got in the way of the lightning strike.
Hmm.
Time Lord DNA got all mixed up. Just that little bit of freedom.
They will not obey.
Just one.
He'll escape. Oh.
Now what?
You will be exterminated.
Yeah. Just think about it, Dalek. What was your name?
Dalek Khan.
Dalek Khan's the last one.
Dalek Khan. Because I've just seen one genocide. I won't cause another.
The last of their kinds, huh? Face to face.
Let me help you. What do you say?
Emergency temporal shift.
And he's gone.
I am not having one more day. You got that? Not one. Tallulah, out of the way. The doctor is in. The pig in the show guy.
It just proves it, I suppose. There's someone for everyone. Because that Dalek got away, I know what that means to you. Do you think he'll ever see it again?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Dalek Khan. He's out there somewhere.
One day.
Right then, Dalek Khan is still out there, right? The Dalek threat is still out there. Even though it's just down to one. Though I don't think it's going to stay down to one for the rest of the series. I'm sure at some point something's going to happen and Dalek Khan is going to pull something off and there's going to be multiple Daleks again. But at this point in time, much like the Doctor, he is the last of his kind, or it is the last of his kind. So, to be honest, I am quite excited to see another appearance of Dalek Khan and to see how the Dalek threat proceeds further, right, or develops further. This was the first two-parter of this series, Series 3. It wasn't quite as strong as some of the two-parters in Series 2, but it did a good job of re-establishing the Dalek threat. Bringing them right back in after the finale, or the two-parter from Series 2. So it certainly did a good job of, re-establishing that threat. And that that threat, the Dalek threat is out there, right? It's always kind of like looming over the Doctor. Lingering in the back of his mind. One of the most interesting things to come out of this two-parter is Dalek Sec. Certainly an interesting character. I actually, by the end of it, I was actually kind of disappointed that they killed him off. Yeah, man. I mean, I really could have seen Dalek Sec as like a reoccurring character, like a side character. Him and the Doctor, teaming up from time to time in different situations. That could have been really cool. I could have seen that. I totally could have seen that. And there's throughout this episode, you could see that they could have made for an interesting combination, right? From time to time, there's some great scenes in here of the Doctor and Dalek Sec. But yeah, for that to happen, for Dalek Sec to still be around, that whole thing of relocating needed to happen, right? Relocating to a different planet or like a new start, right? To get a new start. That was a request of Dalek Sec, of the Doctor, right? To relocate them. At that point in time, he thought the other Daleks are going to be on board, but that was his request of the Doctor, right? And, it was interesting to see that for once, the alien threat or the aggressor, again, not in this case because Dalek Sec wasn't really the aggressor, but the point is, it's usually the Doctor who offers that choice, right, or brings up that possibility, that choice of helping them relocate. It's happened a few times throughout the series or the show, and most recently it was in the Christmas special. I think it was the Rachnos, right? The Rachnos Queen. He gave her that chance, right? He said, hey, if you let me, I'll relocate you and your children to a safe planet, for a new beginning. But of course, no one actually takes that offer, right? From the doctor of, relocating. So it was kind of cool to see, the Dalek sect reaching out and, making the offer before the doctor even makes that offer. See, that was one of the cool things about this episode. Some of the inner thoughts of Dalek sect start to come out in this human Dalek form, right? You could tell that thought was always there, right? In the Daleks' minds, I guess, or at least in Dalek sect's mind. And Dalek sect is an outlier, right? In that sense, he was the leader of the cult of Skaro. Again, I said for good reason. He's able to look past a lot of things. Even in his Dalek form, he was able to, think beyond just their basic programming almost. But yeah, in his human Dalek form, he even called the Doctor a genius, right? So that means that thought was lurking in his mind at some point, even before turning into the human Dalek. So Dalek Sec was actually quite open about that, right? Establishing this respect for the Doctor and, letting him know that even though they are enemies, or they used to be enemies, there is a sense of respect in there, right? You can certainly respect your enemy, or certain qualities about your enemy, right? And he was, in this human Dalek form, he was big enough to just get past all of that and ask for the Doctor's help. So yeah, I definitely saw signs in this episode that these two could have made a great duo from time to time. A reoccurring character. But of course, that wasn't meant to be, because his ideas, they were a bit too groundbreaking and radical for the other Daleks, right? And they executed him. In fact, he took the shot for the Doctor, right? They were trying to kill the Doctor, and he jumped in front. So this mini character arc they had in this episode, throughout the span of this episode of Dalek Sec, it really was quite interesting. I liked it quite a bit. You can see slowly as he progresses and starts to understand how things are, and starts to understand humanity through the actions of the humans around him, right? Really, really cool to see that. And by the end of it, it was clear that he's developed a conscience, and he's developed compassion, right? And it's depicted earlier on in that scene, right? Solomon's message and plea to the Daleks, or to the Dalek leader. Though, of course, at that point in time, Dalek Sec is not present, in person. And you could tell the message is certainly registering with Dalek Sec, right? He was impressed by the courage, and you could tell by his reaction to Solomon getting shot that, he didn't want that to happen. But none of that mattered to the Dalek on location. None of that registered. And, it shot down Solomon. And again, it wasn't registering because they're like that by design, right? The Doctor mentioned something about their original creator, that, he made it so they don't have any emotion, right? And because of that, they're much stronger. That's the belief of this original creator. And yeah, they certainly make for quite an effective killing machine, right? But again, that leads to other problems. And Dalek Sec saw those problems, right? So for these other Daleks, the urge to kill is just too strong, right? But that wasn't the case for Dalek Sec. And, the Dalek Sec really did, legitimately shock the Doctor, right? And, a bit of the same thing happened there on the Doctor's side as well. Slowly he was starting to understand that something special is going on here. Something interesting is going on here, right? And, the Doctor is an intelligent individual, and he knows that, that he can't look past this. Something really special is going on here. And, some of the answers and some of the things Dalek Sec was saying to the Doctor really baffled him, right? To the point that he has to do double takes. So this meeting really did foster a spontaneous sense of solidarity, right? And even a semblance of optimism. And for that reason, the Doctor was, able to overlook the past, right? He was able to overlook all of that, all the things the Daleks have done to him, right? And I guess that's the one big difference, right? the Doctor, he's got just as much hate for the Daleks as they have for the Doctor, but the Doctor is different, right? He's, as depicted in this episode, he is able to overlook that or look past that stuff, you know, all this trauma they've caused, because he saw something special here. He saw the chance for something new, something really special. He was talking about how one man can change the course of history, right? The right idea at the right time. And in this case, he was hoping, you know, Dalek Sec is that one person. And he, you know, he bought into that idea for sure because he saw enough there that this is a legitimate chance to make some change. But of course, that flame was snuffed out because of the nature of the Daleks, the true nature of the Daleks. Exterminate, right? Anyone that isn't us is the enemy. Anyone that isn't us is going to get exterminated, right? And, you know, even near the conclusion, he was able to look past all of that, you know, their bloody past, the history the Daleks and the Doctor share, you know, in an attempt to help Dalek Khan. He said, I've just seen one genocide. I'm not going to be responsible for another. So that's really big of the Doctor, right? To be able to look past all of that. And I think Dalek Sec is one of the reasons he was able to, you know, really look past a lot of it. And it is really surprising, right? Because as so far, you know, I've seen anytime a Dalek shows up, you see just how angry the Doctor gets. He really does have such a hatred for them, and for good reason, right? You know, going back to episode 6, the first time I see a Dalek in series 1, you know, Eccleston, you know, it was such a great performance because it was like a mix of, you know, anger, amusement at their downfall, and then he was even scared. Remember, I still remember, you know, that the moment he saw the Dalek, he was actually quite scared, right? But then he realized it can't do much to him, and then he, you know, proceeds to just mock the Dalek. Almost kind of lowered himself to the Dalek's level, right? Rose even calls him out for it. I remember that. And near the end, there was a bit of a Frankenstein's monster moment as the new, you know, experiment, or the results of this tampered experiment resulted in these humans that have Dalek DNA, but also the Time Lord DNA, right? Fused in there. So the Daleks, you can see they're getting frustrated because they're not obeying the Daleks. And just not too long ago, they're not obeying Dalek Sec, their own leader. So, you know, it was quite funny to see that play out. Essentially, that Time Lord DNA gave them that resilient and inquisitive side of the Doctor, right? So it proved to be quite frustrating for the remaining Daleks. You know, their new creation isn't as responsive as they thought they would be, or as loyal as they thought they would be. They questioned the decision, right, or the order to kill. And, you know, right at the end there, before being executed or taking the shot for the Doctor, Dalek Sec said something quite poignant, right? He said, if you choose death and destruction is going to choose you. So I think that's going to haunt Dalek Khan at some point, right? And I think Dalek Sec is going to be spot on about that. And, you know, in this case, death and destruction could come again in the form of the Doctor, Time Lord, the eternal enemies, right? That's about it for the episode. If you enjoyed that, consider dropping a like, consider dropping some comments. I love to hear people's thoughts. Consider subscribing to the channel. There's a schedule in place now, so there's going to be a specific day for Doctor Who. If you're interested in full length or even early access to the next episode right now, consider checking out the Patreon page, and in doing so, you'll be supporting the channel. And yeah, consider checking out the pinned comment that has links to the Patreon page and my social media. Right then, that's about it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you soon. Take it easy.